Hi, my name is Luke. I practice in the field of integrative and lifestyle medicine. Integrative and lifestyle medicine puts you in the center, gives a 360-degree approach of you as a whole. We help you put it together, we help you find a way, and that is the power of integrative and lifestyle medicine. I hope you're having a great day. Today we're going to talk about high blood pressure. This is a silent killer plaguing millions of people around the world. They say 1 in 4 people suffer from high blood pressure, and 80% don't even know that they have high blood pressure, because sometimes you ignore that throbbing in your head. You just say, oh, it's a headache. Or you will ignore that, pain that you constantly get between your eyes, or you suddenly start to feel lethargic, or you have slumps of energy drop. There are so many people who are undiagnosed with high blood pressure, and unfortunately, this goes on to damage the kidney at some point. India is the diabetic capital of the world. We don't understand, and it is not spoken so much, that diabetes leads to high blood pressure. Diabetes leads to cardiac arrest. Diabetes leads to heart failure. Diabetes leads to stroke. How? It's very simple. But unfortunately, the medical system is broken. While I respect the medical system, I absolutely respect it. I have medical doctors on my team as well, but the point is the system is broken. And you need to understand that you just can't treat diabetes as diabetes without looking at the heart. You can't just treat the liver without looking at the kidney, without looking at digestion. You can't just treat acidity without looking at the health of the liver. Every part of the human body is interdependent on one another, and that is why it is called holistic health. You have diabetes, you need to look at so many parts of the human body and lifestyle. You can't just look at an HbA1c and fasting blood sugar levels. That's why people are chronically sick. That's why people live an entire life with diabetes. Oh, you're on meds? I'm taking my meds, I'm fine. But you don't understand that most diabetics end up becoming chronic kidney disease patients. How does diabetes lead to high blood pressure? It's very simple. When you have fluctuating blood sugar levels, they cause irritation and inflammation in your inner arteries, in your blood vessels, damaging the inner lining, the endothelial linings of your arteries. And then now these start to get hard and they start to constrict and become narrow. So your pressure automatically builds up. What we're going to understand today is, can you reverse high blood pressure? And the answer is absolutely yes. As I speak to you, there are thousands and thousands of people who are no longer on blood pressure medication. We've not stopped their medication. Their doctors stopped their medication. Guess why? Because their systolic and their diastolic is now absolutely fine. So when you make the right lifestyle changes and you go back to your doctor, yes, your doctor will reduce your medication and eventually stop it. How do we handle high blood pressure? There are many causes of high blood pressure. Like I said, diabetes is one of the major causes of high blood pressure. Poor lifestyle, sleep deprivation, chronic stress, poor diets, ultra-processed foods, foods which are heavily rich in sodium and salt. All of these things can create problems. Now let's talk about medicine and how medicine just maintains your pressure levels. So a lot of high blood pressure patients are put on ACE inhibitors, they're put on calcium channel blockers, they're put on medications and diuretics. The point is, yes, take that medication if you need it. It can save your life, but also understand, okay, high blood pressure is also caused when you have low levels of potassium in the body, when you have low levels of magnesium in the body, when you have low levels of certain amino acids in the body that we're going to talk about. So now let's say you have high blood pressure, your doctor says, hey, oh, now it's causing a kidney problem. Now you have an edema in your foot. Let's take a diuretic. That's the right medical treatment. You should take a diuretic. But now the diuretic flushes out more magnesium and more potassium from your body. And now you have higher blood pressure again. So your blood pressure medication has changed. Now you're on 2 or 3 different kinds of blood pressure medication because you're in a vicious cycle of depleting the very minerals that your body needs to maintain stable blood pressure. So yes, absolutely. Potassium plays a huge role in bringing down your blood pressure. So does magnesium. But what we're going to talk today about is a non-essential amino acid. Okay, this works beautifully. It's been scientifically studied. We use it with patients, and when used the right way, it can lower your blood pressure and eventually get you off your medication, of course, with your lifestyle changes that you make. L-citrulline, that's C-I-T-R-U-L-L-I-N-E, is a non-essential amino acid. Okay, L-citrulline is a precursor to another amino acid called L-arginine. L-arginine, the body, L-arginine is found within the endothelial linings of your blood vessels. So look at the intelligence of the human body. Now blood is flowing through my vessel. If any of my vessels are constricted or maybe a little hard because of some plaque or inflammation, L-arginine will be converted by the body into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a vasodilator. That means it expands my blood vessels, allowing blood to flow more freely, stabilizing my pressure. So if I have a blood vessel that's becoming constricted and is becoming hardened, the blood pressure will automatically go up. But nitric oxide will act as a vasodilator. So does magnesium, so does potassium. Okay, now my vasodilation will expand my blood vessels and my blood will flow freely, preventing a stroke, preventing a cardiac arrest, and stabilizing my systolic and my diastolic readings. Okay, now coming back to L-citrulline. And L-citrulline is found in watermelon, it's found in pumpkin, it's found in cucumber, it's found in bitter gourd, it's found in bitter melon. Okay, these are in very small quantities. If you are a high blood pressure, go and speak to your functional medicine doctors, your nutritionists, your doctors, and start with a supplement called L-citrulline. It is harmless unless you do it in excess. Usually anywhere between 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 grams of L-citrulline is recommended. Okay, and this can help you drop your blood pressure. How does it work? L-citrulline will be a precursor to L-arginine. L-arginine will be converted into nitric oxide, which will dilate your blood vessels and lower your blood pressure. It's as simple as that. This is not a medicine. This is something that your body can make in small quantities, but we must get it from our foods. Now, the problem in India is if you're diabetic and you have high blood pressure, which most people are, you can't go on eating too much of watermelon because watermelon will spike up your blood sugar levels. So the problem is not with the watermelon. The problem is because you have diabetes and you can't eat now. You can't eat fructose. You can't eat fruits, which will actually spike up your blood sugar levels. So that's when you move to supplements. It's the same thing with pumpkin. Pumpkin will also raise your blood sugar level. So when it comes to foods, you're actually left with bitter gourd, and you're left with cucumber. But you're going to eat a ton of that to get the right amount of L-citrulline. So you can speak to your experts and you can start to take L-citrulline powder, 3 grams to 5 grams to 8 grams. And you need to take this continuously for about 12 to 24 weeks to see how your blood pressure starts to fall. And while you do any of these things, any natural changes that bring a fall in your blood pressure, you need to be mindful to keep your doctor in the loop because sometimes you don't want your pressure going so low that you now move into hypotension. So when your pressure starts to fall, you speak to your doctor so your doctor can slowly revise your medication and reduce it because your blood pressure is getting better. Now coming back to nitric oxide, if you can't do L-citrulline for any reason, then you will eat foods that are rich in L-arginine, or you can even take an L-arginine supplement. Okay, the foods that are rich in L-arginine, basically nitric oxide, will be spinach, beetroot, garlic, carrots, broccoli. Walnuts and flax seeds are very, very rich in L-arginine, and of course eggs if you're non-vegetarian. So by eating these sources of powerful L-arginine foods, your body will convert L-arginine into nitric oxide, which will also work as a vasodilator, although the science shows us that L-citrulline, which is the precursor to arginine, will work better in the long run to bring down your overall blood pressure. So now you understand what is happening in your system. Of course, stress is a huge cause of high blood pressure. So foods can't change what stress does for you. So you really need to look at lowering your stress. You need to look at acceptance. You need to look at letting go. You need to look at deep breathing. You need to look at exercise. You need to look at surrender. You need to put in the effort to reduce the impact of stress on your body. Because you can go on eating watermelon or taking L-citrulline, but if your stress is causing your high blood pressure, guess what? It won't work effectively. It will still work, but the point is to reduce the root causes of what causes high blood pressure. So you need to understand that yes, you can reduce blood pressure and you can reverse it. The important part about blood pressure is it is a very serious thing. And I don't mean to instill fear in you, but understand simple basics of the human body. Blood vessels are thousands and thousands of kilometers. Thousands and thousands of kilometers. All these blood vessels could, connect to every part of the body. So if there is a problem with the blood vessel, There is a problem with the transportation of blood. There is a problem with the transportation of nutrients from the food that you eat and oxygen from the air that you breathe. Death of cells and organs happen with oxygen deprivation because of poor blood flow, which is why exercise is so important. And the health of your blood vessels and your endothelium, which is the inner lining of your blood vessels, are also important. If your endothelial lining gets damaged because of high blood pressure, it also affects your immune system because your endothelial lining is responsible for immune factors when you're sick, when you have a bacterial infection, when you have a viral. It is so important to understand you cannot separate parts of the human body. So this is how you handle high blood pressure. It is very easy to reduce it when you make lifestyle changes. So L-citrulline, L-arginine, both can be used. I'm a fan of using L-citrulline because the precursor is always better. And when you use the precursor, you allow arginine to form, and your endothelial linings require arginine always to maintain vasodilation of your blood vessels. So you can go to your experts. L-citrulline is available in many forms, in a powder form. It's an L-citrulline malate as well. That's mostly used for exercise. Why is it used for exercise? Why is it used by our pro athletes? All of our pro athletes, all of our bodybuilders, all of our athletes use L-citrulline because L-citrulline will create vasodilation for muscle recovery. The more blood you can rush to your muscles, the faster they recover. So a lot of people work out and they're sore for many, many days. Could be many reasons. You're low on protein, you're low on sleep. But sometimes when you put L-citrulline in their diet, more blood flow to the muscles, everything works better in the human body when it's getting the right amount of blood flow. This is the importance of blood circulation. So yes, high blood pressure, I will make an open statement right now that 95 to 98% of the people can reverse it if they are willing to do the right things. What about the balance 3 to 4%? Unfortunately, sometimes there's so much damage that nothing can be done because there are complications. There's kidney disease, there's dialysis, there is a poorly functioning heart, all of that together. But what about the balance 95 to 96%? If you have that high blood pressure, you don't want to be aging with it. Okay, you got it. Fine. Look at it as a silver lining. Your body's trying to tell you your lifestyle is messed up and you got to make changes. Make those changes right now. But living with blood pressure? Absolutely no. Because there is damage that's happening in small amounts, no matter what medication you're taking. Okay, so if you're 30 and you have blood pressure, my simple question to you, what's it going to be when you're 35 and 40? If you're 50, how's it going to be when you're 55 and 60? The point is, if you can make a change and reverse it, why aren't you doing it? All you need to do is start simple lifestyle changes and reverse that high blood pressure. And if you have diabetes, please understand it is not okay to live with that. Okay, diabetes is 100% reversible. Type 2, 100% reversible. It requires your effort. It requires your time. It requires your lifestyle changes. But right now, if you're not willing to do that, I can tell you 100%, okay, your diabetes is the opening gateway to a ton of other medical conditions. So the sooner you sort it out, the better it is. Have a great day, everyone. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, breathe deep, and remember, you care is all about you.